So welcome to this week's Optimal Health Clinic Facebook Live. And this week I want to talk about one of the things that I think for most people is particularly challenging on the recovery path from ME, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. And that's the idea of listening to your body. It's something that you probably hear your practitioner say at the Optimal Health Clinic if you're a patient. It's something that probably friends and family tell you. It's something that you probably tell yourself on numerous occasions. You need to listen to your body. And it sounds like such an easy thing. And it makes complete sense because when we don't listen to our body and we push and we do too much, then that has all kinds of impacts in terms of crashing and relapsing and everything else. But so many people really struggle with the process of listening to their body. And there's a lot of reasons why. And I want to focus on one specific piece of this on this Facebook Live. But some of the other reasons might be around having achiever patterns, around just wanting to do things and push through, having helper patterns, trying to take care of other people, just not really being in tune with your body. So there's lots of pieces, and maybe we can explore those in a separate video. But particularly what I wanted to talk about here, and actually this came out of a session I was doing with someone, one of my patients today, where we were talking about the idea of listening to their heart. And they were saying, you know, I just need to listen to my heart more. But the thing that became clear was their heart was telling them a lot of different things. And I was giving them the example that it's a little bit like when we're in a new relationship and we're kind of falling in love with someone, but we're conflicted. And then we go to our friends or family and we say, you know, what do I do? And they say, well, follow your heart. And we say, well, I'm trying to follow my heart, but I'm not really, my heart says that I love this person, I'm falling in love with this person, so I want to follow that. And then their heart also says that I'm afraid and I'm scared of intimacy with this person. Their heart also says that maybe they still have feelings towards an ex, so their heart is also kind of pulling towards that. Maybe their heart is also confused by the fact that perhaps their parents don't approve of this person they're falling in love with. And their heart's pulled by their loyalty and their love for their parents and not wanting to compromise and jeopardize that. I can give more examples, but you get the point that it's like the heart is not one single entity that has one unified feeling. That our heart can be pulled in different directions. And so when you hear quotes like, Fritz Perls, who was the founder of Gestalt psychology, a very, very great thinking man, would say, lose your mind and come to your senses. What people then hear is, well, that's great, it will be so simple, I'll just listen to my feelings. The problem is there's often conflict. The same is true when we talk about listening to the body. So let's take an example that you're trying to decide whether to go for a walk. Let's say you're late stage 2, early stage 3 on the recovery path, and you're trying to decide, do I go for this walk? And someone says very well intentioned, maybe someone, a practitioner at the clinic, or you're watching someone's Secret Recovery, and it says, listen to your body. So you check in with your body, and there's a part of your body which feels kind of depleted and tired and wants to go and feels like it needs to rest. There's another part which is like frustrated, has environmental tiredness, is frustrated for being inside, wants to go outside, wants to have fun, wants to be free. It's like wants to go out and go for the walk. There's another part of you which is it's kind of like, I'll feel better if I get some fresh air. If I'm outside and I move my body, I'm going to feel better for doing that. There's another part which is saying, but my practitioners have said that I'm overdoing it and I need to rest, I need to listen to that. So we have all of these conflicting messages. And then we end up frustrated. And we end up thinking, well, I'm supposed to be listening to my body, but I'm utterly unclear what my body's actually telling me to do. My body's telling me all of these different things. So apart from feel like you're going slightly mad, what do you actually do about that? So what I will tend to do when I'm working with a patient where they're struggling to listen to their body, they've got these conflicting messages, is to deconstruct those different voices, those different kind of needs or pulls, and to see if we can decipher a bit of what's driving each of those. So for example, the part that is just like fed up and frustrated and just wants to go off and do stuff is experiencing environmental tiredness. We can see that as an impulse driven by frustration. The part which has got the judgment around, you should be resting, you're not good at this, you keep overdoing it, might be the inner critic, but there might be some grain of truth in there. We can see perhaps an achiever pattern, a helper pattern. We can see, and actually what your body is saying, I'm tired and I need to rest, but maybe it's not I'm tired, I need to go to bed, maybe it's tired and I need to move, but I need to do it very slowly and very carefully and very gently. And so what we try to do is we try to decipher the different kind of messages, different kind of communications that are going on, and then from those work out what's the most useful information to follow. And what I sometimes have likened this to, it's a little bit like if you're chairing a meeting. And let's say you're chairing a meeting, let's say you're the chairman of a big company and you've got 10, 12 people sat on a board. And the company's trying to make a decision about something strategically. And you're hearing all of these different opinions coming from different places. So maybe the person in the accounts department, maybe the finance director is saying, we need to be really careful about our spending and, we're risking too much capital and blah, 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 blah. The sales guy's like, no, let's go, grow, let's go fast, let's go harder. Maybe the operations guy is saying, we haven't thought about logistics. So the job of the chairman, or sometimes the CEO, is to listen to all of these pieces of information and then to make the most sensible, well-informed decision by listening to all of the perspectives. Poor leadership is to hear the things that you want to hear and ignore the things you don't want to hear. People that lead in that way tend to make bad decisions and they tend to alienate the people that they're supposed to be listening to. Same is true with listening to your body. Good leadership, being the captain of the ship of your own recovery, good leadership is not just listening to the voices that you want to hear. So the voice that says, sod it, I'll feel better for going and doing it, that's the voice that perhaps you want to hear, so you then go and push yourself. It's listening to all of the voices and not getting caught in a kind of analysis paralysis where you get completely overwhelmed and consumed, by deconstructing what's going on, what are the messages from the different pieces, and by being able to label those, being able to say, hang on, that's my achiever pattern, that's my helper pattern, that's the fact that I've got environmental tiredness, being able to apply the map to label those, and then making the most informed, well thought out decision about what you do. And initially, this can be quite a time consuming process because you're spending a lot of time kind of understanding these different voices, and often working with a practitioner or someone outside of it will help you get a bit more perspective. But the more awareness you get of what's going on, the easier it then becomes to make much better decisions about what you do and don't do going forwards. So just to summarize, I'm really trying to keep these videos to as close to 10 minutes as I can, but just to summarize, the reason why it's hard to listen to our body is our body is giving us mixed messages. If we can decipher those mixed messages, and by being a good leader, we can understand all of them and make the most informed decision based upon that information. We get better at that, we get smarter at that, and then going forwards, we can just go, I can see what's going on, and this is what I recognize is what I need to do. That can hopefully can be really helpful. So just looking at just a few of the comments. Hi Tracy, hi Nicola. So Nicola's saying it was the singularly biggest thing that's helped to recover. I always did on my body previously and made big improvements once I understood what my body is trying to tell me. So yeah, I'm really pleased to hear that, Nicola. And I think one of the things that people find is it's like, understanding these different kind of voices and pieces, it's like learning a new language. And like any language, it takes some time to understand, but once you learn the language of your body, it becomes so much easier. So Thanks everyone, and thank you, Laura. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you at the same time, same place next week. Bye bye for now.